So all I'm doing as a rookie, get the ball out of his hand, make sure you listen. Throw to him.
Every time it's a guy running to the flat, it's another level and it's a deep ball too. He ain't even thinking about them hoes. Get it to the flats right now.
No,
like that's not winning football. But that's scary, fam. That was a scary game he played. Very, very conservative. If I look bad, they can put Shedeur in. Let me not look bad.
I'm true.
Well, now tuned in to the Dark Times Challenge.
And so the Cleveland Browns went out there the other day. As you all know, they started Dillon Gabriel. He went out there and he played serviceable. He did his thing. He did what a lot of people thought he would do, which was manage the game and not turn the ball over and get the ball out of his hands quickly.
And that's it. He's pretty good. He's 5'11", got an average arm, but he really knows how to play. That was the best of Dillon Gabriel because Stefanski just put him in position not to lose. Just don't lose it, don't lose it, don't lose it. The whole game was don't lose it.
Come on, player, come on, don't lose me.
Right. And it's hard for me to watch because Shedeur is way better than Dillon Gabriel. He just is.
And so now even with Dillon Gabriel going out there this past weekend, all the way out in the UK, having a solid performance, having a solid debut to his rookie season, well, it's now being reported that the Cleveland Browns are trying to switch it up a little bit. They're trying to pull the okie doke, as they say.
How his development is happening every day, and while we had a long way to go upon arriving as a fifth-round draft pick from Colorado, Sanders has worked and he's learned. They're trying to rewrite that initial narrative that was out there that basically Shedeur is wasting everyone's time. And the only part that gets me a little angry is that you took a quarterback in the fifth round. You're going to tell everyone that he's just a fifth-round quarterback, and you're going to then try to get all the credit for how he looks once he plays. That's the part that bothers me the most. It's a sleight of hand that I knew was coming from a million miles away, and it's going to paint them to be the savior of this quarterback that didn't actually need saving.
And my own conjecture, my own belief is that the Cleveland Browns, the reason why they're pivoting right now, the reason why they're trying to switch it up, and say that Shedeur Sanders is looking like he's capable, it's looking like he's not a fifth-round pick, as we all knew he was, or knew he wasn't. It's because, like everybody else, the Cleveland Browns looked at that 2026 draft class that's supposed to be so great with Arch Manning, Nuttenberg, and some of these other guys, and they said, you know what? Our best option going forward is probably in this room, and that's Shedeur Sanders.
Inside the house, guys.
And like, here's the thing. They didn't create the pre-draft narrative. They created the post-draft narrative on Shedeur, which was insulting, trying to act like there was a massive difference between Dillon Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders when both guys were incredibly experienced college quarterbacks. And Shedeur actually fits Kevin Stefanski better than even Dillion does.
One of the reasons why we first, at least I first started championing for Shedeur Sanders is because he fits Stefanski and the connections that are there, even between his OC and everything else that was there at Colorado. But it is wild to me how they're going to try to spin this in such a way to make it seem like they fixed Shedeur Sanders when I'm never going to look at it that way.
So I just don't, if you're like a Shedeur fan, I don't know how you can trust Kevin Stefanski play calling for Shedeur when I think Kevin did any favors for Dillon Gabriel yesterday.
So maybe I looked at it too much from Stefanski's lens. I look at it from Stefanski's lens of that's my ace up my sleeve. That's my when I feel like I'm about to get fired. Sorry, Dillon Gabriel, you lost your job. Now here Shedeur comes in, and Shedeur being because he's not a fifth round quarterback, guys. Let's get real. Shedeur's going to step in, and it'll look much better. Plus, you have that easy stretch up until that Buffalo game late in the season. You have a pretty easy stretch. The Browns could really have a quarterback go in there and look pretty decent. And I think he's going to look at that as like that's how I saved my job. Yeah, no, I just thought this was the first like olive branch to the idea that they feel like they're coaching Shedeur up, and the light bulb is going on for Shedeur, and all the rhetoric that I just never really bought into that Shedeur's light bulb needs to go off to begin with anyway, you know. But I feel like you have to start it from somewhere, right? You can't tell everybody. And they told everybody because you got text, I got text, we got text all through training camp and all this other stuff that Shedeur didn't know what the hell he was doing, etc. You can't tell everybody those type of messages and then continue to keep going down that road and then say now he's our starting quarterback. You have to slowly but surely say, oh no, things are starting to happen. Shedeur looks really good. Hey, how about those extra periods that is going on after practice that Ross Tucker told us about? You think that was an accident a week ago? Or I'm sorry, 3 weeks ago, because I was off for 2 weeks. You think that was an accident? That wasn't an accident. Like they're starting to build up the narratives that it's starting to click for Shedeur. And I don't think, I think it's very intentional because ultimately they're going to want to take credit for it if Shedeur looks good.
And so the Cleveland Browns and Kevin Stefanski in particular are in an interesting situation. Because on one hand, they've got their guy, or at least Kevin Stefanski has his guy in Dillon Gabriel, the guy that nobody had going in the third round, not in the fourth round, maybe in the fifth or the sixth round, but definitely I don't think anybody had him going before Ewers from Texas. And Ewers went all the way in the seventh round. And so you go out on a limb, you get Dillon Gabriel, you draft him over Shedeur Sanders. You put him in positions to make sure he doesn't look like a bad quarterback, which is understandable for his first game, especially playing in the UK. But by chance, Dillon Gabriel doesn't improve or doesn't show that he's going to be a starting caliber quarterback, a franchise quarterback for the Cleveland Browns. And they continue to lose games. Kevin Stefanski and the Cleveland Browns are going to be in a situation, especially Kevin Stefanski, in which now he's going to need Shedeur Sanders to come in and possibly save his job.
If you get 7 weeks in and Dillon never looks better than adequate and you're 0-7, and Kevin's still saying, we got to keep playing Dillon Gabriel because Shedeur's not ready, I don't know how I can trust. I don't trust Kevin Stefanski now to make that decision. I thought the entire handling of this process has been semi-insulting to Shedeur, and Semi is definitely couching it. It's been insulting to Shedeur. Just distinguishing between these two guys as if there's some wide gap between either guy. Is if there is, physically, Shedeur is the far superior talented quarterback than Timu Tua.
But you should have won the football game. You were in position to close the deal. But on one of those third downs, you have to try to make a play to win the football game. And trust me, no matter what Stefanski called, Shedeur would try to win the football game because it's how he was raised. You win the football game. You're going to make a play because you were born to make a play. You just got to give him the opportunity. So it just ripped me up watching this fourth quarter yesterday because they were in position to close the deal, but you have to close it. You can't play not to close it.
And so absolutely, no doubt about it. You play to win the game, as they say.
You play to win the game. Hello? You play to win the game.
You got to have some big ones. In those big moments, you got to have a quarterback that's going to let it hang a little bit, win or lose. When it's all on the line, you got to have a quarterback that's not going to be scared to throw that thing. And so far, and like I said, it's a small sample size. With a couple of preseason games and this regular season game, it doesn't look like Dillon Gabriel is willing to let that ball go.
You can go ice this game.
In the third down, that's the biggest third of the game. He just throws it away without in a heartbeat.
Exactly. Yeah. Kevin Stefanski, he called the game like that. So all I'm doing is get the ball out of his hand, make sure you listen. Throw to him, throw to him.
Every time it's a guy running to the flats, it's another level and it's a deep ball too. He ain't even thinking about them hoes. Get it to the flats right now.
No,
like that's not winning football. But that's scary, fam. That was a scary game he played. Very conservative. If I look bad, they can put Shadeur in. Let me not look bad.
I'm with you.
But we're going to see. Like I said, it's a small sample size. Dillon Gabriel looked more than serviceable. He looks like he's going to be in the NFL for quite some time, whether it's as a starter or a backup. But in some capacity, he showed that he belonged in the NFL. But we're going to see. It's going to be Shedeur time sooner or later. And the Cleveland Browns are trying to make that apparent. They're putting their people out there in the media, trying to get people prepared for Shedeur Sanders to start at some point this season. But those are my thoughts on it. Make sure you guys go ahead and try to keep that conversation going on down below as we usually do. And as usual, peace and chaos.